Hey YouTube, so this is another update video for my stock market vlog. So it's my account, and then transactions have been the same, nothing's changed, and so in allocation, there's a lot of difference. Basically, what I did is I got rid of all of my IVN, so that's 0 now, and then and also NXE, because I wanted to put everything into HUT, and I'll explain why. Later. So sold my Aritzia call option, and then so BT is still down, so I can't so it's all my options, and it's a little bit slow because it's taking a while to load, but basically book value is 46,000, market value is 34,000, so it's down 12,400, and the reason, well, at least in terms of the how the web broker keeps track of it, but I'll explain. So basically, the BTE I bought for 5.2, and I sold the the cover call for 2.08. So that means that the break even is basically at 5.23 minus 2.08. So as long as BT stays above 3.15 before January 2026, then it's a break even, because well, obviously, so this is strike price $2 for the BTE calls. So if it's $2 plus the 2.08, so then it's actually worth 4.08, which means that I would have to buy back this call before it expires, because otherwise what would happen? Because I paid 5.23 and then minus 2.08, and then if the strike price is 2, then I sell it for 2, so then that's a loss of 1.15 basically. Yeah, because if it's the strike price 2, then buy it for 2. Yeah. So then I would have to buy back the call before it expires. But because of the time decay, I think the option, when it approaches the expiry, it will be significantly cheaper. And then I have some calls for BT. So these are long calls. I'm trying to exit out of all the long positions because obviously there's no guarantee. So I'm trying to close out all of my long positions in options. So Bitfarm, trying to close it out, but right now the loss is too much, so I'm still waiting for it. And then WED. So the CCA options, I want to close them out too. And then Dollarama. Problem is they're all down. So IVN, I already closed that out and then put everything into HUT. So basically I have 2,600 shares of HUT, and then 26 covered calls on HUT. So I'll explain why I'm doing this. Then MRE, so I'm trying to close this out. NXT already closed out, but the call, the loss is too much. I don't want to take more than a 10% loss. And TLRY, so I still have all this TLRY stuff that I don't want to close out yet because I don't want to take more than a 10% loss. The puts I could probably close out. But I think the bid is still the bid is 0.58, and then I paid 0.73, so I think it's still way more than 10% loss, so I can't really close that out. But basically I'll explain exactly why I'm putting all of my money in HUT. So basically, if you sell a deep in the money covered call on HUT, then $7 strike, and then bid is 4.2, so then that's 7 plus 4.2 is 11.2, and then the value of the share is 9.26. So then that's a profit of 1.94 per share. And then per share, then the price is 9.26 for the stock, and then minus the premium, so 5.06 is what I'm paying per share of HUT, and then so I make 1.94 profit over 5.06 per share, so that's a 38% profit from now until December. So that is more than 38. So this is, it's already February, so until December, so it's less than 1 year. So that's more than 38% annual return. So that's the reason why I am doing this. And so the break even, as long as, because I'm essentially paying 5.06 per share, as long as HUT stays above 5.06 at expiry, then I keep the 38% net profit. So that's how that works. And so I'll write this down. So hut covered call, and then net profit is 38% or 1.9 for per share, and then break even is 5.06 per share. So it's a 38 December 2024 expiry. So then, for example, let's say I have an option that is say I have something that is down right now. For example, let's take the TLRY Put. So the TLRY Put is so the bid price is 0.58, and then I bought for 0.73. So then if I subtract 1, so then the TLRY Put net profit is minus 20%. And obviously this is unrealized because like I don't want to sell it right now, but what would happen is if net profit is minus 20%, and then let's say that if I sell TLRY Puts and then buy hot covered calls, then net profit equals minus 20% from the TLRY Puts, and then plus 38% for the hot covered call. So then in total it's a positive 18%. So if I were to sell these TLRY Puts right now and then put the money into hot covered calls, then I immediately make 18% as long as hut stays above $5.06 per share. So that's essentially how this works. So basically, in theory, if I have any investment that has a net profit of minus 38% or higher, and then I sell it, I exit the position and then enter the hot covered call, then I make a net profit. So that's sort of how this works. So that's why I exited out of IVN and NXC and a bunch of other stuff, because if I take my money out of that, then the loss from exiting out is less than the gain I have from the hot covered calls. So I don't know if I've explained this very clearly, but essentially it's a way for me to erase all my losses that are 38% or less. So if the loss is greater than 38% and then I exit out, then I still lose money. It's still a net loss, but as long as the loss is not greater than 38%, then if I exit and then enter the hot cover call, then it's a net profit. So that's why I did this, because it just erases all of my losses from like a bunch of stuff that I'm holding. And so it's essentially guaranteed. It's essentially guaranteed because break-even is 5.06, and I don't think HUT will ever drop that low, because it's already going up. Well, yeah, so basically the strike price of the cover calls are at 7, so let's say HUT drops below 7, then I roll the options down to 6 or 5 or whatever, and then I make the profit from the gap. So I make the gap, I make the difference because I buy back for lower than I sold it for. So I think no matter what happens, so if HUT goes up, then I don't have to worry. As long as HUT stays above $7, really nothing happens. If it goes below $7, then what I can do is roll down, and then yeah, so it's a really simple strategy. So I'll explain how to do the calculation. I'll explain how to do the calculation. So let's say that so let's say HUT has a ratio. It has, well, I think I explained it pretty clearly, but so stock HUT, and then so then I calculate something called the margin, that I'm calling the margin. So the margin is basically equal to, so the margin is equal to what is it? So premium plus strike minus spot. So then HUT margin is equal to 4.2 plus 7 minus 9.3, which is, so that's 11.2 minus 9.3, that's 1.9. So that's how you calculate the margin. And then there's a call over stock ratio. None of this, I don't think any of this is standard, because I came up with all of this myself. So the call over stock, that is that's basically the premium divided by the spot. So that is 4.2 divided by 9.3. So that's 0.45. And then so then what I can do, so then the margin isn't actually the margin's actually, because all of these are percentages, they're not dollar values, they're all expressed as ratios. So the margin is divided by spot price, so that is divided by 9.3, so that should be 1.9 divided by 9.3 is 0.2. So that's the margin, and then that is the call over stock ratio. And then finally, so I can use that to calculate the net profit, and again, this is a ratio, it's not in dollar value. So then the net profit margin, the net profit is the margin divided by 1 minus the call over stock. Because if you think about it, it's essentially the margin times the leverage, and then the leverage is 1 over 1 minus call over stock, if that's how you want to interpret it. Because obviously I'm buying HUT for a discounted value. I'm not buying for 9.3 per share. I'm buying for 5.1 per share, because the premium reduces the cost of buying the stock. So then the HUT net profit is equal to so the margin is 0.2 divided by 1 minus 0.45. So that's a very straightforward calculation. 0.2 divided by 0.55 is 0.36 is 36%. Here is 38%. My numbers are slightly off, but so yeah, it's so that's how you calculate that. And then so the so then for the TLRY put, so the TLRY put so for just a regular a regular long position in an option or a stock, then there's basically two things. So then it's just like the difference, so that is let's see, what is that? It is the current price divided by the original price. So this is for TLRY. And then, so the difference, so then TLRY difference is the current is 0.58, and then the original is 0.73, so that is $0.79. So then the net profit, assuming there's no leverage, and for a regular stock or an option, then there's no leverage. So then the net profit is equal to the difference minus 1. It's equal to the difference minus 1. So then the TLRY net profit is 0.79 minus 1, which is negative 0.21. So that's negative 21%. And then finally, so then finally, so the combined net profit from 2 transactions combined net profit from 2 transactions. So combined net profit equals net profit 1 plus net profit 2. So then if I sell TLRY and then buy HUT, so then that is equal to, so net profit, so HUT net profit is 0.36. I mean, well, TLRY should be first. So TLRY minus 0.21 plus HUT net profit is 0.36. So then that gives a positive 0.15, which is a positive 15%. So the net profit margin from exiting TLRY puts, exiting TLRY long puts, and then entering HUT covered calls is plus 15%. And you can use this example for sort of any really any calculations. It's just for any sort of like exiting and then entering. So basically you're doing like a swap. So I'm swapping out TLRY for HUT for a 15% net profit, which completely erases the minus 21% loss that I would take if I hold TLRY puts. That's how this works. So you just have to remember that for some positions, so if it's just like a basic stock or a basic option put or call, then there's no leverage, so it's straightforward. You just calculate. If there's no leverage, then you just calculate like this. If there is leverage, then you have to multiply by the leverage, which is the same as dividing by 1 minus the ratio. For cover calls, and it's I assume, because for me, if there is leverage, then that means I'm doing a covered call, because that's the only case where I have a leveraged position, where I'm buying the underlying for a value that is less than what it's actually worth. So this is how to do the calculations. So basically, as long as the combined net profit is greater than 0, then as long as the combined net profit margin is greater than 0, then you're not losing money. So this is what I do to erase any losses on my balance sheet in my holdings, is using this. It's very it makes perfect sense. Like it's not it's almost guaranteed to work. You just have to set up a covered call on something where there is a net profit margin and the break even is significantly lower than the spot price of the stock. So I've already explained how to calculate the margin and the break. Okay, so the break even. So that's the other thing. That's the one thing that I forgot to mention. So the break even is equal to spot minus premium. So hot break even equals 9.3 minus 4.2 is 5.1. So that's $5.1 per share. So it has to drop from 9.3 below 5.1. So but again, this isn't absolute, because if it were to drop below the strike price, which is $7, then I can roll the option down. So like I buy it back for a net profit. So I buy the option back for a net profit. So let's say well, this is a little bit complicated, but so this is like what happens if HUT drops, and then just like a roll down. So HUT roll down. So let's assume that delta is 0.9. Let's see, what is the delta? Let's see what the delta is, and I'll just use that value. So it's 0.79. So I'll just use 0.8 because it doesn't make that much difference. So let's say delta is 0.8, and let's say that HUT let's say that the original price is 9.3, and then so the strike price is 7, and let's say that the current price is 7. So basically the current price is right at the strike price. So so then the price difference is obviously the current minus the original. So then the HUT price difference is equal to 9.3 minus 7, which is minus 2.3, which is very obvious. So it's just basically a drop $2.3. So then I have to calculate the option change. So then the call change. So that this is the change in the price of the call option. So that is minus 2.3 multiply. So that should be the difference multiplied by the delta. So then the HUT change in the HUT cover call should be minus 2.3 times 0.8. So that is 2.3 times 0.8. that is minus 1.84. So then the original price of the call from if you remember is $4.2, and then so the current price is it should be the original price plus the change, so plus the price change. So then call current equals 4.2 minus 1.84 is equal to 4.2 sorry 4.2 what's 4.2 minus 1.84, so it should be 2.36. But basically what would happen is that I would make $1.84 per share, and then let's say that well this is all I can really calculate at this point, is that I make $2.36 per share. I'm gonna have to think about this, and then maybe in my next video I'll continue this calculation for how to calculate the net profit from roll down, because I have not thought this through before making this video, but everything else that I said is correct. So everything that I wrote here is also correct. It's just I haven't really reached a conclusion with this, but so anyways, I'll put all of this in the description, and that is the end of this video.